1, 2, 3,
4,
5, 6,
7,
8,
9,
10.
11.
A big story in the news this week has been about Josh Hardy. He is a patient at St. Jude. I'm sure you've all seen it. He was denied an experimental drug, and his mom advocated for him and finally got it. And this story just really touched me. I watched it, followed it, and I thought, how did he get in this shape? He needed the drug to fight the adenovirus. Like I said, he battled cancer 4 times, and he'd just gotten a bone marrow transplant. So as a parent, or as a person in general, what can you do to help somebody in this state? Everybody wrote to Chimerix or called or emailed, but to start with, bone marrow transplant. So did a little research on bone marrow transplants, and I thought it would be a difficult process to become a donor, but it is not. There are several bone marrow donor registries online. It works kind of like a blood bank. You sign up, they send you a kit, and you swab your cheek for DNA. They examine it for HLA markers, and these HLA markers determine if you're a match or not. Researchers are poring over these lists constantly. And in Memphis, St. Jude, here in our backyard, Dr. Wing Long says that he has developed a test that if he gets 10 potential donors, he is able to use those HLA markers from your sample, and he can almost guarantee that with this, if your HLA markers match, that he can match with the recipient, and you're going to live. Somebody will live. So if you join the registry and give HLA samples, the next step is you take a few general tests for physical tests and mental tests, and if you pass, they will match you up with a donor, and the only really big inconvenience is you have to travel to that donor. And Cancer Centers of America they're an innovator in bone marrow transplants, and they explain the procedure. It's a non-invasive surgery. You go in under general anesthesia, and they make a small incision, and they insert a shallow needle and pull out 1 to 2% of your bone marrow from your pelvic bone. Doesn't compromise your immune system. You don't even have to stay in the hospital. It's 2 hours of recovery. And insurance and the cost doesn't cost you anything. The travel that you have to go to the recipient is usually paid for by charities or research grants or that's it. We've all heard about donating money and what can we do to help cancer patients and things like that. Josh Hardy fought cancer 4 times and finally has the possibility of beating it because of the advances in the bone marrow transplants and the research and all of that. So it's amazing what we can do with a little inconvenience to ourselves and no expense to prolong the life of another person. Thank you. That was awful. I'm sorry.